Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead, and today we're going to talk about freeze-dried food.
Yes.
You know we love our freeze-dried food.
Yes.
You want to talk about the ultimate kind of, it's like the perfect prepper, but not just prepper food. Mm-hmm. It's a hedge against inflation.
It's great for when you go camping. For those who have arthritis.
Preparedness.
Yep.
Emergency.
Busy moms.
Preparedness. Did I say?
I think you said it a couple times.
Hedge against inflation.
Shelf stable.
Yeah.
Wait, that's preparedness.
Yeah. So if an apple costs me 50 cents today, which it does, or more,
depending on the apple.
What's that apple going to cost 5 years from now?
Right.
Probably a lot more, unless you have an orchard.
Right.
So secrets of freeze-dried food. Yeah. We've got really, honestly, 3 big ones. And we are hoping that you will put your comments down in the comment section below as to how you use yours. Mm-hmm. And if you know other tips, share them. These are just big ones.
These are just the 3 top big ones.
The biggins. Big ones. All right, Mom. Tell us the first of the 3 big ones.
You've totally thrown my train of thought, so here, give me a hand.
And the camera is on the table, just so you know.
Oh,
so when you go...
Like this?
Yeah, when it
don't
goes like
do that.
Don't do that. Because it's going to mess all your stuff up.
Sorry, folks.
1 to 1.
Yes.
Fresh foods, store-bought.
Okay, yes. So... They are 1 to 1. So if you have a recipe and you want to...
It calls for a gigantic squash.
Right. You would use the amount so say that's probably 4 cups cut up. You would use 4 cups of freeze-dried butternut squash. And you just add some extra liquid. But it is 1 to 1 freeze-dried to store-bought. It is actually even fresher.
Well, no, hold on. Stay on target one, because we talked about this. When you're making your recipes.
Yes. If I don't have a list, I go off track.
That's why I'm like, she's already jumping the gun.
I'm already off
track.
track.
She's going to 0.6. So let's back up. 1 to 1.
1 to 1 to your recipe. You don't have to have a specific Thrive Life freeze-dried recipe. You have your favorite recipes. Like in here, I'll show you. In here are some of our favorite recipes in our latest cookbook.
A hug from home.
A hug from home.
Or mom.
A hug from home.
At mom. Mom at home.
Okay.
She's at home. She
gives
you a hug.
Right. So there are some of our favorite recipes in there. And if I want to use a regular recipe, but I want to add something that is freeze-dried, I will use equal amounts. So if, say, a recipe asks for 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of chopped onion, I would use 1 cup of freeze-dried onion. Or this particular recipe here, it says, I can't read it, 3 cups of butternut squash, I would use 3 cups of freeze-dried butternut squash, which they have.
If you have fresh.
Or if you have fresh, then you can use fresh.
1 to 1.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
that, I think, is one of the big hurdles that a lot of people, they can't get past it when they think, well, what do I do with this? Right. I bought this freeze-dried food. How do I use it?
Right.
1 to 1.
1 to 1. So like we said, your recipe calls for 1 cup of onion. You're using 1 cup of chopped freeze-dried onions.
But that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Don't forget your comments down below.
Right.
Okay, next thing is when you open something up. Why don't you grab our visual aid, Mom? Not that one.
You don't open the apple?
No. Let's say that you love mushrooms. However, you don't use mushrooms all the time, but you bought a big thing of mushrooms because it's actually a lot more affordable.
Yes.
But you don't want them to get all wangy, as our friends over the pond say in Great Britain.
Right.
They say when things get a little floppy, they get a little wangy. I don't know what that means. Yeah. You decide.
Right.
But when you open this up, you don't want it to get
soft.
Oh, floppy.
You don't want it to get soft because what it's doing is basically taking the moisture in from the air. This is not sealed again when you just put this top on. Yeah, it kind of keeps bugs out. It does allow moisture in it. So what we like to do is we will take our open can of something we will not use often, and we will put it in another mason jar
With
an oxygen absorber.
And with
My favorite gadget, a vacuum sealer.
Let me show you.
Mason jar vacuum sealer.
Let me show you. Hey, for 1 sec, ready?
You know how that
Oh my gosh, that's not. You went. Shh. You went.
No.
That was like.
I just was like, no, don't open that.
Wait, and then but you can show.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, fresh.
And then
Can
we
you hear
take
the
our
crunch?
lid. Yeah. We take our lid, and this
Ooh, that's
seals.
hard.
I know. This seals wide mouth and regular mouth. So we'll just put this back on here like that, and we will suck the air out of it.
So while that's doing its thing, what does this do for the time in terms of freshness?
It takes the oxygen and moisture out of that jar, and it extends the life of your freeze-dried food.
So when you open one of these,
When you open one, so if you have this unopened, okay, you can turn that off now.
I'm waiting.
Is it 30 seconds?
It is 33 seconds.
Turn it off.
No, I'm waiting.
Turn it off.
But I'm waiting for 40.
Okay, no, you only need 30.
And it's done.
So when you buy, we buy the larger cans, the family size cans. They're number 10 cans.
Save money.
You save lots of money because you have more servings in these cans. So if we have an item that we don't use very often, like mushrooms, I am actually the only one that uses the mushrooms. And this can should have gotten sealed in mason jars. I usually use the smaller ones, but I failed to do that. I just completely forgot. So they are getting a little soft. They're still edible, okay? These, once you open it, it will last on the shelf for a year for 99% of the products. There's only a couple that only last a couple weeks, like the pulled pork. Once you open it, you should vacuum seal it because it doesn't last that long. But unopened, they'll last 25 years. Now, if you open it and then you vacuum seal it, it doesn't give you exactly the 25 years, but it does give you many, many, many more years, okay? So I hope that...
You're redeeming a lot of time.
Yes, yes.
Years and years and years of freshness is what it is. And these things are cheap.
These are $30 and they're battery operated.
Rechargeable.
There's no cords that you can see. You don't have to drag along your vacuum sealer and all of the attachments. It's just this and then the battery cord, or not the battery cord, the charging cord that comes in the box. This thing has been a lifesaver for so many times because the food saver adapters don't work very well.
No, they don't.
This works every time, all the time.
There is a link in
Yes.
the video description for this, and
Yes.
it does help our family out if you decide to get one, if you want one, and we're very grateful.
Yes.
So thank you. Okay, so show them a few more.
So the other things that I like to put into these jars are the cheeses because I don't like my cheese to get soft. I like it to stay nice and crunchy because honestly, I will eat it straight out of the can. So
It's
this,
so good.
It is so good. I would rather do that than eat a cheese cracker. So I like to take them out. This is the Parmesan cheese, and I was able to fill 3 quart jars from a can. Was it 3 or 4?
This is a you thing, baby.
I think it was 4 quart jars out of the Parmesan cheese can. That's a lot of Parmesan cheese. A lot of cheese. And then the other thing that is definitely a must is the pulled pork. When I open up a can of the pulled pork, I definitely not freeze dry it. I definitely will vacuum seal it into another jar. Don't open that.
I'm just showing them that it is like.
It is sealed. Yeah. I was
And
like, don't open that one.
That's this doodad.
This is that doodad, yes. But definitely, this is definitely a good way to extend the life of your
Already open stuff.
yes.
So, okay, big third secret, as you guys are already typing, putting your stuff down there. So, last of our 3 big freeze-dried how you use it secrets, and they're not really secrets, it's just that most people that don't use it don't know.
Right.
So it's one of those things where if you just don't know, you don't know.
Right.
So last thing is freshness in terms of the nutrition content in the actual food.
Right.
When you go buy one of these things, well, more like, think of this as a tomato or an apple. Why don't you grab an apple? If you buy one of these from the store, these delicious little, whatever they are, these are Honeycrisp.
Are those, that's a Honeycrisp?
They're very small.
Very small, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting that way, aren't they? If you buy this from the store, if it was a tomato or something like this, what happens is they pick them when they're not ripe because they've got a massive, massive amount of food that they're going to put on grocery store shelves. Then they store them in a cool facility, a refrigerated facility, and they can be stored for a long, long time, 10 months. And then when a gigantic grocery store company purchases them, they will gas them to make them turn this color instead of that color.
Yep.
Now, a Honeycrisp is different because they are multicolored. But the point is, like, if this was a tomato, it's going to look like this until they gas it and they look like this. Well, the real big reason that's a problem is when they pick it off the tree, the field, the vine, whatever it is, then not all the nutrition is in that fruit, apple,
right.
yada, yada.
Right.
It's not there yet.
Right.
They're gassing it and it looks like it's there, but it's not. The freeze-dried food is, the Thrive Life freeze-dried food is different because when they pick it to when it's actually freeze-dried is a very, very short amount of time.
Right. And they pick it at its peak ripeness. So your tomatoes are going to be red when they are picked off the vine, and then they are cut and frozen immediately.
Flash frozen, yeah.
Flash frozen, and then they are taken straight to the freeze dryers. And this all happens within a short amount of time.
Couple days.
Not even. No, I'm saying a couple of hours. Comes straight from the farm, frozen in a couple of hours, and then it goes straight into the freeze dryer.
And that's a big deal because you're getting all the nutrition that should have been there,
right,
but wasn't if you're buying stuff that was already just sitting in cold storage because they picked it while it was green.
Well, and also, this was not this year's apple. This was last year's or the year before.
No.
This is not a current fresh apple. Not really a fresh apple. Like that butternut squash was probably grown last year.
Or more.
Or more. I mean,
because they put it in cold storage.
And butternut squash, they last a long time. So that's the thing with buying store-bought fruits and vegetables is they're not as fresh as you would have grown them yourself.
They're not as packed with nutrition as you would think just because it's pretty on the shelf.
Right.
But when you get this stuff, it's picked at peak freshness, freeze-dried right away.
Yep.
So here's a question for you guys. Fun little question. If an apple is 50 cents today, a little guy like this.
A little guy.
With the way things are going, how much do you think it'll cost in 5 years?
$5 or more.
But if I buy, say, a quart of freeze-dried raspberries, that this amount of raspberries, had I got it from like a local pick place, like $4, $5?
From a local place?
$4?
Maybe
$5?
Maybe 7.
But this is going to be good for 25 years. How much will they be worth in 6 years?
Right.
5 years?
Right.
Whoa.
Right. I mean, if you go to the store and you go and buy a pint, one of those trays of raspberries, they're between $5 and $7.
And they're narrow.
And they're shallow trays, and they're, it's a pint of raspberries. That's half of this for $5 to $7.
Think ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Think ahead. The I word, inflation.
Can't say that.
Coming.
You can't say that. There's no inflation.
Don't say it.
There's no inflation.
It's not real.
No, it's not.
At least that's what people want you to think.
Sure.
So the three big ones, use them one-to-one as you would with your recipes, right along with other store-bought ingredients or grown, whatever.
Yep.
The second one is save it up. Go ahead and actually
seal it in different jars and different containers so that you are utilizing the most money out of your freeze-dried can. Because if you leave this sit for a year or longer, it's still edible, not that great. However, if you put it in here, it's still nice and crispy and delicious.
That and the cost of things, and also how much nutrition you're getting in there.
Yeah.
Now, you know we love our Thrive Life brand, and we actually do it as a business.
Yep.
And a lot of people love it, and a lot of people make a lot of extra cash on the side or their own exact business. That's what they do. That's their main source of income.
Yep.
If you want to know more, email us or just go on and check it out. There's a link down there, and you can check it out for yourself. And if you sign up, it does help us out.
It sure does. And this coming month, April 2024, check it out. There's going to be a huge Thrive Life sale coming up. I don't have the details yet, but I know it's coming. I was talking to some of the upper-ups in Thrive the other day, and there is a big sale coming. So be watching the channel for those details.
And last side note, you may want to go ahead and become a customer right now, a delivery customer, because it doesn't cost you a penny to sign up. Not zero. Right. There's no strings attached.
Nope.
And you might want to be already set up for when this sale comes, because it's going to be a big one. And
they only do these big sales twice a year.
Yeah.
And they have some amazing deals going. And
if you're a delivery customer or a consultant, you get in early.
Well, the consultants get in early.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're a consultant or want to be a consultant, you get into the sale a day early.
It's actually really cheap.
It is really inexpensive, yeah.
So,
and all you get is food if you sign up to be a consultant. Everything in your packet is food.
Yeah, you're not like signing up and then you got to buy stuff.
Right.
It's not that. It's that you sign up and you get a big box of goodies.
Yep.
So I think that was the three, but we actually hit many more points.
We did hit many more points, and I hope it helps your family. And we're so grateful that you are watching and that you would order Thrive Life through our channel. It truly helps our family out. We're so grateful.
Amen. All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.